Hi everybody, welcome to the Nature Center at Shaker Lakes. My name is Erica and I am standing right at the entryway to our All Peoples Trail. This ADA accessible boardwalk is about a third of a mile and it will loop you around through the marsh and some nice overlooks. Also on this trail is a scavenger hunt. There are some photographs hidden along the pathway showing different animals and native species that can be found in the area. Each scavenger hunt page has a QR code on it like this, so if you're out hiking with a smartphone or other device, you can scan that to learn more about the animal in addition to what's on that sign in front of you. Or you can visit the Nature Center at Shaker Lakes website and read about them beforehand so you know what to expect. Now today, we are taking a virtual hike as part of the Fred Walk series. This series is in partnership with Cleveland Foundation, and I'm so excited to be on the All Peoples Trail today because Cleveland Foundation is also one of our sponsors who helped make this project possible. This trail opened in November of 2019, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, come out in person. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy this virtual hike. I am ready to get started where we are on our way to check out a few of our favorite spots along the trail. Alright, we have started our hike along the All Peoples Trail, and I paused in this spot to tell everybody what a watershed is. We are going to be investigating the wonders of watersheds as we walk along the trail today. And a watershed is just any area of land that drains into a local stream, river, pond, whatever body of water is closest to you. And we all live in a watershed. Every area of land is going to drain into some kind of body of water. Now, the Nature Center is in the Doan Brook Watershed. Your home might be in a different one, but I encourage you to figure out what watershed you live in and do a little bit of research online. See if you can find a watershed group that helps protect that space. For us, the Nature Center does a lot of programs in partnership with Doan Brook Watershed Partners. And the marsh that is behind me, we'll be walking around to take a closer look, plays an important role in that watershed ecosystem. Marshes are great natural water filters. They help clean away some of the dirt and pollution that ends up in our streams and waterways, in part because of all of the plants that you see out in the distance. They're absorbing some of that excess nutrients to help them survive, but also it helps our water by removing some of that extra. As we walk a little bit further, enjoy the sights and sounds of our All Peoples Trail. We're in a bit of a noisy space right now. Some of those noises are natural, like the birds chirping. Others are from our proximity to neighborhoods. I hear some kind of machine or motor in the background as well, too. Now our natural resources team has planted over 300 new native plants out in the marsh since November. We'll be meeting a member of the Natural Resources team shortly who can give us some more details. But in the meantime, if you are noticing any of these fences surrounding the plants, that's something to help protect the items that have been planted recently from deer. We have a lot of deer in this area, and these young trees and shrubs make really tasty snacks if you are a deer. However, that can also damage the plants because they are so young, so that fencing is there to protect them. So our marsh is connected to the Doan Brook. You might be able to hear the Doan Brook trickling in the background, or see it as it stretches around the corner here. And you may also notice a pipe off in the distance. That is an overflow pipe. So any of the water gushing down the street or the roadways in the neighborhood It picks up pollution with it, so any kind of fertilizers or oils or liquids from a car, any kind of extra soaps or other materials that people are using in their lawns and homes nearby, that all gets rushed along with the water down the street. It ends up in the sewers, and the sewer overflow pipe empties right into the Dome Brook. As we're getting closer to our marsh, we can see Maddy in the background. She's a member of our natural resources team. So let's head down and see what she's been up to lately and what she can tell us about the marsh. Hi, Maddy.
Hello, ma'am.
All right, I'll let our viewers get a little bit closer to you, and I'll stay back here so you can tell us what is going on.
Hey guys, my name is Maddy and I work in the Natural Resources team here at the Nature Center at Shaker Lakes. It consists of 3 people, myself, our boss Nick, and my coworker Emily Penn. So it's 3 people taking care of a 20-acre property. And we also have a little bit more help today with our youth stewardship kids. If you're more interested on getting out in the marsh with us and helping work, you can go to our website and find more info on that. But today we are cutting down sweet flag, and so this is actually European sweet flag, and you can tell because it's got those crimped edges. We do have a native sweet flag that is scattered around in the marsh, but we're looking for this one today and cutting it down for natural resources purposes. We do then spray it with herbicide, and the reason that we use herbicide is so that we don't have to continue to come back and cut down the plant over and over and over again, because that takes a lot of manpower and we have a lot of work to do. So after we cut and spray, we wait for the plants to die, and then we plant new native ones to come up the next year. So the whole reason why we have to do this and take care of the invasives and plant the natives is because we have to protect our wetlands. I think in 2016 there was a study done that over 53% of our wetlands in the entire US have already been destroyed. So we're trying to protect the ones that we have left. If you look out over the marsh, you can see that there are a bunch of some swamp mallow and all kinds of good stuff growing, maybe some blue iris, which is native to the area. If you look all the way across the marsh by where the bridge is, this wetland actually is connected to Lower Lake. So what happens is Dome Brook flows up until the marsh, then the marsh, being a wetland, is kind of like the kidneys of the water cycle, and it totally flushes out all the bad stuff. Like you guys saw the culvert, so all the sewage will sink in and stay here in the marsh, and it won't lower or go over to Lower Lake and kind of muck up all of the fresh water that we have over there. So the reason why we have to protect our wetlands is so that it filters our water for us. So that's kind of the environmental aspect of a wetland. There's also 2 other ones. We have equity and we have economy. So equity is about people. So if we didn't have wetlands and we were in a floodplain, it would just flood all of our houses or all of our buildings, and that could lead to mold and bugs and other, like mosquitoes and other bad stuff that we have in our house that could cause us health problems. So having wetlands totally reduces that risk because the floodplain empties into the wetland. And then we also have economy. Same thing like equity. If we were to have a floodplain ruin your house every year during the rainy season, that would cost a lot of money and it would not be good for people. So our 3 E's are environment, equity, and economy, and wetlands help to mitigate all of those things. So next time you stop on the ATP, definitely come down here to the marsh deck and look out over the marsh. And if you see us, by all means come and say hello and ask us a few questions. Hey guys, so here's something that we were talking about earlier. This is a culvert, and this is what diverts water in a combined sewer overflow. So like we talked about before, one of the things that the marsh does is stops that sewage water and sucks it in before it gets to a body of water like Lower Lake and then continues to bigger bodies of water. So it's very important that we have our marsh here because we have a culvert on the property as well.
So I'm Nick Mycash. I'm the Natural Resource Specialist here at the Nature Center, and I work with Maddy, who's standing off camera right now, and the youth stewards, who you guys already talked about, working to protect our habitat at the Nature Center. And you can see everybody's out removing invasive species, and I think that's already been touched on. But we'll talk about some of the native species that we've been planting, so things like buttonbush, which is right here, and rose mallow, which is coming up, most of this is coming up from seed. And then we have cool things like live stakes. So right in front of Matty right there, you can see one of our live stakes. So this stake is probably about that tall, most of it is in the mud, and it's going to regrow new branches and eventually turn into a dogwood. Well, it is a dogwood, but it'll turn into a full-size dogwood shrub. You can see some of the areas that we've been working are a little bit muddy and kind of open still from construction. So the hope is that after we get these things in here, they'll kind of spread out and eventually erase the footprint of any construction damage. And aside from removing damage, we're providing habitat. So things like red-eye vireo will nest out in shrubby habitat. If it doesn't have the shrubs, there's nowhere to nest. So we're starting to put some of these shrub pockets out in the marsh, because right now it's very more or less herbaceous. So kind of one of the sturdier plants would be the rose mallow, but it's still not a woody plant. So if you need like a heavy sturdy plant to put your nest on, that's not going to work for you. So when we start to get these shrubs in here, hopefully we start to see things like the vireos and maybe even warblers staying and hanging out and breeding in our marsh, which right now we just don't have the suitable habitat for that. And then we've also got things like some of our sedges that we planted. These guys here, so sedges look very much like a grass, but they are not the same. They're in a different group. These guys will have a lot of similarities within the sedge group, but they're very diverse. So they have a different type of seed from grass, which is called an achene, which is kind of like a very teeny tiny nut. So these are great for birds. When the seed head dries out, they'll come in and eat those off the top. And those will disperse on their own. So, you know, this is a plant you planted about a month ago. It's already gone and bloomed, and it's gone to seed. And hopefully next year we see sedges starting to spread out. So each of these little pockets of plants that we put in this year will keep spreading and eventually fill in this whole gap. And it'll be a much better habitat than it was when it started.
Thanks for joining us on our hike today. This has been an excellent Fred Walk in partnership with Cleveland Foundation. Make sure to count yourself in by visiting the All People's Trail yourself. You can volunteer in our marsh by signing up for a Stewardship Saturday volunteer opportunity. And Maddy, is there anything people can do from home to help protect the watershed?
Yeah, so I think there's three main things that you guys can do. One of them being rain barrels. They're super easy to install in your home. They also, the Regional Sewer District will give you credits towards your bill if you install a rain barrel. And also rain gardens. If you want more information on that, you can contact Nick here at the Nature Center. He's a great resource to use. And also, like the guys out here in the marsh today, you can join us for a youth stewardship if you guys have some younger people that you want to come hang out with us. So those are some good things to know.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Maddy. Thank you, people who have joined us virtually, and we hope to see you live and in person on the trail someday soon.